here. Always is. So I thought I would just do a straight-out spiritual talk this morning. So, mothers, you've been recognized. Now we're going to recognize our oneness in life. So in our educational system, this whole month we're talking about this, we go to grade school, high school, college, and afterwards we get our, if we choose to, get our 4-year degree. And then you can apply to graduate school. In graduate school, you narrow your focus and enter into a specific area that you are studying with some rigorous practice and whatever it is that you are focused on. And you create endeavors that produce results in that specific area of study. And then you're given a master's degree. This month, we are engaged in our own form of master's degree. A master's degree in spirituality. And it's a short study of, we're just doing it for 4 weeks. And if you have attended every service then for 4 weeks, we will give you a diploma. So you'll receive that certificate of graduation, even though we're all doing it anyway. But it's just a reminder that the master's program comes in spirituality, we spoke about it last week, in 4 levels of conscious evolution. There's the first stage, which is why me, the mortal stage. Then there's the second stage of consciousness, by me, and that's when we are the metaphysicians, and we do spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, by me, to make it happen. And then there's the through me, or mystic level, the Father worked through me. Or there is also as me, which is the master degree. That is oneness. And that is what this spirituality, this philosophy is all about. Oneness. Oneness of all life. No separation, yes. No division, no judgment, but a loving God. Yes. How can God do anything but love that which it creates? Because it wouldn't be an unconditional loving God then. It never made sense, so here we are, studying oneness together. And there are certain people that walk this earth that we have called masters. And one of them was Jesus, the master teacher, because he mastered living in such a way that he could not see the separation. The Father and I are one. And people in his presence were transformed with that. That's the consciousness he held. Just getting close to him and touching the hem of his garment. Just being in that energy field. If we were to reinterpret the Bible, just being in the energy field of pure love and a person that was in the oneness of life itself, that's what did the healing, that consciousness of oneness. So today, our day is to fully enroll ourselves in this master's program, this master program of spirituality, which is the title of this talk. So what does it mean to enroll? It means the following: to get engaged in, to sign up for, to put your name on, to join, to become an active participant in a way of thinking and being and acting and feeling that moves us toward our focused intention. And for our purpose here this month, our focus and intention is to move more and more and more into the ways of oneness. Yes. And there's only one way truly we can do this, and that is through love. As Dennis' reading was so perfect for this topic this morning. Through love, through forgiveness and love. Now, I'm very aware that each and every one of us is unique. We are all unique manifestations of this creative, infinite power that never has to repeat itself. So there are no two people, no two any forms of life that are exactly alike. We are all on our own personal and unique journey, each and every one of us. And wherever we are, it's the perfect place to be. Have you noticed that wherever you are, you find yourself? Because this is where you are. This is the place. You know? Yeah. Really. It's that isness thing. It is what it is. This is it. So it's the perfect place to start from. You are in your perfect place, right here and right now. Science of Mind founder, Ernest Holmes, says in the textbook, our Science of Mind textbook, the only place we can begin our spiritual journey is right where we are, and right where we are is a perfect place to begin. In fact, it's the only place to begin. There is no other place. We can only begin now. That's why I love the whole idea of Mother's Day, birthing. Birthing forth. Where can you birth forth a new idea? Only in this moment. Only in this moment. Yes. Last week, we took our entrance exam, and we called it the LRE, to help us assess where we might be in our spiritual consciousness. So, let's explain what LRE actually means. Life. Where we are when we feel a life challenge hit. And we all have life challenges that hit us. And that is where we are in relationship with the God of our understanding all the time, not just when life challenges hit, but we cultivate this relationship all the time. The prayer without ceasing that Paul speaks of. We pray without ceasing, meaning we remember whose we are, who we are, and whose we are. We're beings of the divine, not just turning to God and pray when things take place, when life happens, but all of the time. That way we're more prepared when those challenges do take place. And then we had our relationship with God. That was the R part. And where we are with the E part was our earth stewardship. Remembering that we are charged with the dominion and the care and the nurturing of this planet, which sustains us, which really gives us physical life. We live on this physical plane. How are we caring for it? In what ways are we caring for it? So we have life challenges, relationship with God, and earth stewardship. That's our program, our master's program, the LRE program. And wherever you are in your personal and unique journey right now this morning, I invite you to enroll in, to get engaged in, to sign up for, to take the next step, to fully participate in this thing called life. In this thing called life. Really get ourselves connected to our indwelling real self, the God spark within us, the God self within us, and live from that relationship. It really is so much easier, and it really moves us into that place of oneness. And oneness means that we realize that when a life challenge comes, it is meant for us. It is not meant to be done to us. What a shift in thinking. Wow. Yeah. Everything takes place for our personal growth if we look at it that way. And if we have the tools that are ready. Even this hot room is taking place for someone's personal growth. All right, moving back to oneness. I'm one with the heat of the room. I'm one with all of your sweat. I am one with it all. Oneness means our relationship with God is not a relationship with something or someone outside of ourselves. Wow! God isn't outside of us. God is within us. God is everywhere. It's omnipresent, but it is also within us. And maybe we haven't been taught that. But it's the thing, the essence, this eternal that lives, moves, and has its being uniquely as each and every one of us. And we are cultivating our relationship with that indwelling self. So that's where the power is. The oneness, we are profoundly aware that we have to care for Mother Earth. We realize that. We have this planet that we are inhabiting for just a short period of time. We're the stewards, are we not? We're the stewards of Mother Earth. So this morning we are enrolling in the Master's Program by cultivating conscious connection. Conscious connection. Master Level thinking means that I incorporate into my life practices that keep me in conscious connection with the divine. That means the meditation. That means finding the time to contemplate. That means prayer without ceasing. Even if it's just in the affirmative form, it's powerful. God is my source and supply all of the time. All of the time. That's a prayer right there. Right there. And Brother Lawrence called it practicing the presence. And that's what we're doing. Practicing the presence.
Wow.
It is the building of the connection that becomes more and more conscious within us. The building of our connection to that indwelling presence. Remembering God's presence expands our thinking. It truly does. It's expansive because we know that in the divine mind, this energy that is God, it's not a person sitting on a throne somewhere judging us. It is a divine, intelligent, loving energy that has created us out of its own nature, of love, of peace, of limitless possibilities, and potentiality. That's expansive thinking. It truly is. That means that nothing is limited in the mind of God. So we, using that, our true nature, nothing limits us but our own thinking that says so. Yeah. It's a belief. It's not real. So how do we enter into this consciousness, this conscious connection with God? We listen and we follow. Do we get quiet enough to listen? There are times, I must tell you, when I'm actually quiet. I know that those of you who know me will not believe this. But there are times when I'm actually quiet. And I can listen and hear that voice. So here's a teaching story in the Bible about a man to whom God spoke. God said to this man, and the man's name was Jonah. You may have heard of him. God said to him, Jonah, I want you to cross over here and go to Nineveh. And there are some things, yeah, right. There are some things going on there that aren't quite copacetic, and I want you to straighten them out for me. This is my assignment for you. This is God talking to Jonah. This is what you're supposed to be doing with your life right now, or words to that effect. He was getting divine guidance. But the communication was very clear. The directions were very clear. The purpose was very clear. So what Jonah did was he got in that boat and he went the opposite direction. He ran like heck. He went exactly the opposite of what God told him to do, what he was being guided to do. And has anyone ever had the divine guidance and just run in the other direction? Yeah. And then you find out. You find out. You're being clearly told. Somehow it could be through a feeling, through a thought. You might even hear a voice. And then, nah, I'm not going to do that. Well, that's what Jonah did. This plan A was the plan that God gave Jonah. The guidance was gently bestowed within him clearly. And plan B was that Jonah didn't listen to it. So God used plan B. Why? God used plan B because he can only give back what is thought into it. And what we do, our actions, our thoughts, our emotions, can only come back to us, the law of attraction, can only come back to us as we think them and feel them and do them. So Jonah decided that he was not going to listen to this voice, and so his situation got more intense. And in that intensity, he's on a boat, headed exactly in the wrong direction. And so what happens then is his life, and a storm came up, as it does in our lives. The storm came up, and he's tossed out and swallowed by a whale. We know this story. And now that was God's attention getting device, was that whole being swallowed up by a whale. Or if you're not going to follow this, here's the consequence. And some of us have whales right here and right now in our lives we have these whales in our lives because we didn't listen to the subtle message. We didn't pay attention to the subtle message. The deal is, when God sends guidance with gentleness, it's folly. It truly is to ignore it. I've learned that. It really is. Even if it doesn't make any sense, if that pulling, if that calling is so strong, that is the divine within you giving you some guidance, a message. And the question that I hear a lot is, how do I know when it's a divine guidance voice or when it's coming out of fear or my ego voice? So we do that by cultivating those spiritual practices of meditation, of prayer work, of praying without ceasing, and then we can listen because we know which part of it is the true voice. And here's the way to figure out if it's true or not. Don't listen to it. Do the opposite, like Jonah. That's how you find out. The only way you can find out is by doing it. So you either follow what you think is divine guidance or give it a test. Go the other way, decide to ignore it. Then you'll find out if it works or not. Well, right now, deep down, we've all been feeling some nudges. I know it. Anyone here feel nudges? Yeah. They come in different ways. They come in different ways. They can come in a yearning. This is how you know if it's the divine. They can come in a yearning, in a calling. These are the nudges, in a higher vision for our lives. So the feeling that there's got to be more to life than this, whatever you're in at the moment, whatever whale you stepped into. And they could move in uneasiness in our awareness, and maybe there's a certain thing that we've done over and over again and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, but you're getting this message. But it takes courage to step out from a situation you're familiar with. You're familiar with it even if it's painful, even if it's uncomfortable. We're in a boat. Go in the opposite direction from that guidance when we don't listen to it. Now, to fully enroll in, to engage in, to sign up for, and to participate in our Master's program in spirituality, we must start listening. And we do that by getting quiet, by taking those breaths. Just taking the breath work will take us so deep when we stop and take really deep breaths. I don't know how God's guidance has been coming to you, but I know it's there. I absolutely know it's there, and I think that most of you in this room do know it's there, and if you don't, we're here to support you in letting you know there is a power within you that empowers you to live a life. Yeah, it's still going to have its ups and downs. I don't think there's any way we can just cover up all the challenges. That's why we're here. This is a learning school that we're in. Yeah, we're in a learning school on earth. That's why we want to take care of the earth. In fact, right now, you might have some ideas that are flowing through you. Are you willing to listen to them? That's the point. Because it's up to you. This is for you. What you do, it does have an effect on me, but not a direct. Not because I am only responsible for my own thinking, for my own actions, for my own emotions. And so as each of us moves into that place of responsibility for how we choose to respond to something. If you're going to be with family today, it's a perfect learning opportunity. Sometimes it's wonderful. It's all loving and harmony and peace, and everybody gets along, especially when you're in a big, huge family. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. So it's a good learning place to just take those breaths and just center yourself. So in order for us to get our masters this month, we must surrender. Surrender, let go and let God. Wow. Surrender to the Master's touch. So our homework this week for our Master's program in spirituality is to place ourselves in the Master's hands, To know that I of myself can do nothing. It's the God within that doeth the work, and that is so true. Letting go and let God, that's what it means. It doesn't mean that you're turning your back on life. It means you're making a choice to let the divinity within you guide you. Wow, it's so much, it's so much wiser to live our lives that way. It's challenging, but it is absolutely the best way to live life, because we don't feel alone. We're always cared for and loved with the divine master, always within us, always. Okay. And so as we move into holding those dreams, holding our visions, just knowing, we talked about imagination a couple of weeks ago. Imagining, what a great tool, because the law of God doesn't know the difference between what is actually taking place in your thinking and what you're imagining. So imagine the good dream. And we say, where is the good dream? Where could it be, Jaola? It must be somewhere.
Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops away above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, somewhere over the rainbow.
I just want you all to know that when I called Jaola or texted her on Friday night, she says, well, I don't know if I'll be able to really pull it off that well. Jaola!